Hi, my name's Ashley Griffin. I'm a Broadway writer and performer, and I'd like to talk to you about my play Trial. Trial is the piece that if I never write another word in my life, I'll be happy because I wrote this show. It's the piece that's nearest and dearest to my heart. Trial tells the story of Kay, a young woman waiting for her own judgment in the bureaucratic system of the afterlife, who finds herself in the role of judge and jury to determine the eternal fate of the man indirectly responsible for her death. We come to learn that the man was Kay's abuser, and that because of him, she committed suicide when she was 15. Eventually, we discover that in fact, this is Kay's trial, and what will happen to her is determined by whether she can forgive this man or not. Inspired by a true story, Trial is an exploration of justice versus mercy and the complex nature of forgiveness. Trial has received development at Manhattan Theater Club, as well as with the Red Fern Theater Company and the Ivy Theater Company, and through its development has featured actors such as Finn Wittrock, American Horror Story, Geneva Carr, Tony nominee for Hand to God, Bull, Tony nominee Xanthi Elbrick, Coram Boy, Tony winner Una Lawrence, Matilda, Southpaw, Steve Hawke, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and more. Trial premiered off-Broadway just before the pandemic at the American Theater of Actors, directed by famed performer-director Lori Petty, A League of Their Own, Orange is the New Black, and director of The Poker House, Jennifer Lawrence's first film. The show sold out in less than 24 hours, and even adding seats to the theater and reaching maximum legal capacity, we had to turn away people at every performance. I'm still getting messages from people asking when the show will be back so they can finally come and see it. Trial was met with enormous critical praise, with one review saying, if this show were on Broadway, it would win the Pulitzer. Lori and I went on to win the Well Life Network Award, and I was honored with a county commendation for the advocacy impact of the show. The Well Life Network presented Trial as the centerpiece of their annual gala, which also immediately sold out, and raised over $100,000. The same year, Trial was featured in the book I Will Not Be Silenced for the impact it had on the author's life and how it galvanized her to get out of and helped her to heal from an abusive relationship. At every presentation and performance of the show, almost every audience member has come up to me and shared, I went through this, my friend went through this, a family member went through this, and I've never heard this talked about before. Plans to bring the show back for an extended off or on-Broadway run were derailed by the pandemic. We're now fighting to bring this important piece back for a commercial run. Director Lori Petty continues to be attached and incredibly enthusiastic about the show, and we're working with producer Fred Rohan Vargas to get an industry presentation up in New York City in February of 2024, with the goal of attracting producers and investors to partner on next steps for a commercial run. Trial already has a proven track record and a built-in fan base. It can be done bare bones in a black box or large scale in a Broadway theater, and has a tight ensemble cast of 7. But more importantly, this is a powerful piece that deeply impacts people and is an urgent story that needs to be shared. I guarantee that this is the story of someone close to you. It may be your story, and it would mean more than I can possibly say for it to finally be shared with the world. I'm so excited to get to share it with you. Thank you so much for your support. We would love to have you as part of the Trial family.